As a popular actress, my favorite pastime when not working is lounging around at home. After a month of idleness, my exasperated agent threw me into a currently trending variety show. Although the show is a hit and widely praised, it mainly garners attention from those who love a good spectacle. The program often features pranks on guests and reveals juicy gossip, sometimes even crashing the entire social media server. The audience, eager for the latest scoop, watches the show with magnifying glasses, determined to be the first to catch the freshest gossip. Consequently, the show attracts immense attention and high ratings, drawing actors and idols seeking exposure. I still remember my agent's words when persuading me to join.
You spend your days at home doing nothing. Besides being a bit lazy, what else could possibly go wrong?
What was I thinking then? I thought she had a point. So, I agreed to participate.
However, I never expected the production team to dig up photos of me dating in college. Here's what happened. At the beginning of the show, there was a segment designed to help everyone get to know each other through games. Being new to the show and aware of its nature, I remained vigilant to avoid falling into any traps. Yet, I still got caught. When asked if I was single during a truth or dare game, I answered that I didn't have a boyfriend. Unfortunately, I then drew a dare card, requiring me to call an ex.
Of course, I intended to say I had no exes.
Just as I was about to speak, the director gave a mysterious smile and displayed a photo of me kissing Jason Carter in college. My face was clearly visible, while his was blurred by a halo of light.
I remembered this photo was secretly taken and posted on the campus wall years ago. I never expected the show to dig it up.
I looked at the production team's kind smiles and locked eyes with them for a few seconds, conceding defeat. Having been in the entertainment industry for a few years, I barely managed to keep my composure. Holding my phone, I typed in the all-too-familiar number, silently praying that Jason had blocked me out of frustration. Being blocked would only be a temporary embarrassment. If he answered. Ha. Ring. Ring. The call was answered before the third ring.
Hello?
My heart skipped a beat. I couldn't tell where he was, but I heard the wind and his vibrant, youthful voice, mixed with a hint of summer coolness. Gripping the hem of my shirt, I didn't smile at the camera for the first time. The director gestured for me to speak. But I really, absolutely, didn't expect we would talk under these circumstances. How could I start? Like an ostrich, I remained silent for a long time, not daring to speak. The other end was quiet for a few seconds, either recognizing the number or quickly figuring it out. His tone lifted, filled with unmistakable surprise.
Emily White?
Ahem, it's me.
He chuckled lightly, his tone a mix of nonchalance and playful arrogance, with a hint of resentment only I could detect.
You busy bee, what made you think of calling me?
Instinctively, I glanced at the people around me. Sure enough, everyone's eyes sparkled with curiosity, and the director even moved the camera closer to my face. Clearing my throat, I thickened my skin for the high pay from the show.
I miss you.
The other end was silent for a long time. Just when I thought he had hung up, he suddenly laughed. His vibrant, slightly magnetic voice was still as enticing as ever, but his words were enough to make me want to disappear.
Humph, I knew you couldn't stay away from me. I win, right? Let me tell you, what's so good about that lousy job of yours? Working tirelessly every day, never seeing anyone. I treat you so well, always giving you.
Beep beep, a busy signal sounded.
I hung up, awkwardly digging my toes into the ground, looking at the shocked faces around me, and forced a smile. Sorry, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Please forgive me.
Internally, I was gnashing my teeth.
I knew that fool was unreliable.
But as expected, Twitter exploded. Countless hashtags about me shot to the top of the trending list, with the top 3 all about me, and 5 out of the top 10. Hashtag Emily White X, hashtag Emily White and her attention seeker, hashtag Emily White accident. I lay in bed scrolling through my phone, covering my face in exhaustion.
Oh my god, what do I do now? The whole world knows my ex is a fool with a childish syndrome.
Messages popped up on WeChat from time to time, mostly from another celebrity trending today. I didn't dare look or reply. He must have known I was on the show and contacted him, which is why he called me. With his temper, he must be furious right now, fuming with anger. The messages he sent were definitely not pleasant.
Humph, I'm not stupid. Why would I subject myself to that?
Proud of my own cleverness, I slept soundly that night, not expecting to see him the next day. The next morning, the show's crew came to the bedrooms for a surprise attack, trying to capture unflattering photos of the guests. But I didn't mind. I'm naturally beautiful. Forced to get up, I used a secondary account to find a corner in the yard without cameras. I admired my own sleepy, tear-streaked beauty for a while before saving the photo. Then I happily scrolled through comments praising my looks. But occasionally, I came across something unpleasant. Some said I had a script, that the show was promoting me. Some said my face was obviously altered, and some even outright claimed I was unattractive.
Jealous, aren't they? I'm really getting angry. It's one thing to say I have a script, but to say I've had plastic surgery and that I'm ugly? I won't stand for it.
So I posted a self-deprecating comment.
Drink up, my friend. If you say I'm ugly, I'll leave, crying.jpg.
In reality, I'm petty. I reported all the excessively rude comments. Ah, that felt good. I stretched comfortably, took a deep breath of fresh air, and felt refreshed. I didn't expect to open my eyes and see Jason Carter's gloomy face, looking down at me as if he were blocking the light.
My bad for waking up too early.
I turned to go back to sleep. He chased after me.
Emily White, why are you running? Do you think I would harm you?
Wearing slippers, I couldn't outrun him and ended up in his grasp, heroically sacrificed. Jason Carter's 2 great loves in life are adventure and motorcycles. Now, dressed in black leather and protective gear, it was clear he had come overnight to catch me. And that impossibly handsome face was attacking me up close.
Haha, what brings you here? I forced a smile, trying to shake off his hand.
What's going on? I couldn't shake him off? I tried harder. Even harder. Looking up, I saw Jason Carter watching my efforts, a proud and disdainful smile on his lips. Angry and embarrassed, I used my other hand to slap his head. I was fierce.
Let go!
Oh. Seeing me angry, he instantly let go and touched the spot where I had hit him, looking aggrieved.
I glared at him. After that incident, I gave up on the idea of running away. I looked him up and down and noticed he had dyed his blonde hair silver.
What are you doing here? Don't you know I'm recording a show?
Of course I know. But I sent you messages, and you didn't reply.
He was younger than me, more privileged, pouting his pretty red lips. Despite wearing a leather jacket and sporting hard-to-pull-off silver hair, his fair face was as smooth as a peeled egg, looking more and more innocent.
I'm not a free spirit, I need to work, little brother.
But didn't I tell you? I can take care of you.
You, a college student, using your parents' money to support me? Don't be ridiculous.
We had fought and broken up over this topic. He didn't understand why I had to bend over backward for money, running around for gigs, bowing and scraping to directors, often too busy to eat, and neglecting him, sometimes not seeing him for a month.
I could pay the breach of contract fee. You just need to stay with me.
At that time, I felt so powerless. For the first time, I realized so bluntly that we were not from the same world. Trying to merge would only lead to pain.
You've seen me now. I'll be starting soon. You should leave.
But he smiled smugly, his beautiful eyes sparkling, setting off alarm bells in my heart.
I had my dad invest in this show. As a special guest, I'm here to report.
A well-defined hand reached out to me. He looked down at me, smiling mischievously like a cat that had stolen cream.
Ms. White, please take care of me.
What was I supposed to do with him here? If I told him to leave, he would cross his arms and accuse me of interfering in his life, saying I was being unreasonable. That stubborn look of his made me so angry that I was still fuming when I returned to my room. Damn Jason Carter, ambushing me like this, playing dirty. Luckily, that photo was blurry, and I had deleted his contact. Without any notes, they shouldn't know Jason Carter was my foolish ex, otherwise, I'd have to flee overnight. Imagining myself with a green headscarf and a bundle. Ugh, hearing crows on my wedding day, my luck couldn't be worse. It wasn't until the show crew informed me of a new guest that I adjusted my fake smile, put on appropriate clothes, and went downstairs. Jason Carter had changed into casual clothes and was standing in the middle of the living room, smiling politely as he greeted Olivia Brooks. With that beaming face, anyone would think he had won the lottery. I rolled my eyes internally. As for Olivia Brooks, she was my rival. We had similar acting paths and were both non-professionally trained, so netizens often compared us. But for some reason, she was always less popular than me. And Jason Carter, this unexpected newcomer, clearly had an unusual background. So, was this her way of taking a different approach? Hard to say. Good luck to her.
Miss White!
I shook his hand theatrically, pretending not to know him.
Hello, hello.
He flashed a bright smile, which others might see as sunny and cheerful, but I saw as sinister and malicious, hiding a dagger behind a smile.
Ms. White, I'm a fan of yours. My name is Jason Carter. You can call me Jason.
Aw. Really?
Feigning surprise, I could only hope he would shut up.
Yes, I love the scene in Life's Turning Point where you jumped off the building. It gave me a lot of life inspiration.
I remembered that scene. It was the last one I filmed. When I wrapped up, I asked him which scene he liked best, and he said it was that one. At that time, I asked him why, and his reason was that I finally had time to accompany him to the Arctic to see the Northern Lights. I knew he was reminding me of how I had neglected him. Years of acting experience almost made me lose my composure. I tried to smile without gritting my teeth.
You little brat, implying something. That's such an honor. That's why I became an actress. How old are you, Jason? You look very young.
And very immature. To outsiders, it looked like a heartwarming, successful fan encounter, but they didn't know that the two main characters were each harboring their own thoughts. Every word exchanged was a subtle battle, with undercurrents only we could understand. No one noticed a seemingly inconspicuous comment in the barrage of messages. This voice and height seemed like Emily White's ex-boyfriend. On the third day of the show, Jason Carter arrived unexpectedly. After a hasty meet and greet, the director announced the day's task.
Today, you'll form groups and ride bicycles to a mountain village. The first group to arrive gets to choose their accommodation first.
The director handed them photos of 3 houses, a small villa, a modest brick house, and the worst, a thatched hut.
Each group will draw lots to form teams. Since we have Jason joining us, one group will have 3 people.
Emily saw the balding director smiled mischievously at her.
They're setting me up.
She nervously drew her slip of paper, already sensing her fate. Everyone knew Olivia Brooks wanted to cozy up to Jason, and Jason seemed to have some interest in Emily.
The results are out! Emily, Jason, and Olivia, you're in a group.
Emily swallowed her frustration, determined to play along.
Want to see a drama? I won't disappoint you.
Each group was assigned a bicycle, but they got a tricycle. The summer heat was oppressive, and the route was over 30 kilometers.
I'll go first!
Jason, with his good physical fitness, volunteered. He often went camping or exploring alone for days when they were together.
Olivia, why is your skin so fair? Do you eat something special?
Olivia seemed stunned but responded.
No, not really.
Wow, you must be naturally beautiful then. Unlike me, I have to take vitamin C and drink lemon water to maintain a bit of fairness.
Emily pretended to be sad but felt triumphant inside. Jason glanced back at her, a look of confusion on his face.
What nonsense are you spouting?
Emily secretly glared at him, and he obediently turned back to watch the road. Olivia, absorbed in the compliment, didn't notice their exchange.
No, Emily, you're also very beautiful.
Jason Carter was pedaling the tricycle at the front, while Olivia Brooks and Emily White were chatting in the back.
Jason, do you have a girlfriend?
No girlfriend. My ex was very career-oriented. I didn't like her job, and she couldn't give it up for me, so we broke up.
Women need to have their own careers. Men can't always be relied upon.
But I'm different. I liked her so much, I could support her for a lifetime. Besides, her job was really exhausting. It pained me to see her like that.
Ha! Men's words are deceptive. If she grows old and loses her looks, how can you be sure you'll still like her? Men always prefer young and beautiful women. I support her decision.
Emily nudged Olivia Brooks with her elbow.
Olivia, don't you agree?
Olivia Brooks trembled, caught in the middle of their argument.
I think Emily has a point, but Mr. Carter seems like a reliable and good man too.
Emily patted her, using their newly formed sisterhood to pressure her.
Girl, you need to have your own opinions.
I also think women should have their own careers. They are not men's accessories.
See?
Jason Carter snorted, pedaling the tricycle faster without saying a word. Emily hummed a little tune, holding the quiet as a quail Olivia Brooks.
Stick with me, and you'll never go hungry.
They successfully moved into the palace, and later, the production team photoshopped a crown on them and added sound effects. As for the haters in the comments below, whatever, Emily may be petty, but she has hands. She would report them. The next morning, they had us go into the mud to search for hidden items. We could snatch items during the process, but anything placed in each group's basket could not be taken. The baskets were 100 meters away from the mud pit. This distance allowed for many possibilities. The production team was quite tricky, saying there were many items inside, but only some were useful and would determine our meals for the day. This meant that the items we fought hard for could turn out to be a joke. So, a group of glamorous celebrities donned protective suits and stepped into the mud, with expressions of braving the cold winds of the E River.
I'll go! She patted Olivia Brooks and volunteered.
Emily really wanted to go because her mom never let her play in the mud when she was a kid. This was a dream come true. Emily happily got into the mud pit until she started competing with another group of guests, her face and mouth covered in mud, her eyes unable to open. She got angry.
Jason Carter for the cause.
For the light! He responded without hesitation, following her lead.
The two of them cornered and took down the guy. Emily ran to the basket, stood there, and dramatically threw a box into it, like a highlight reel in a basketball game. Her face was covered in mud, but she was grinning triumphantly. Having won once, they tasted victory and exchanged a mischievous glance, beginning to snatch items with mutual understanding. This displeased the other groups, and the other two teams quickly formed an alliance.
Stop those two.
Oh no, they overdid it. Emily hugged the box she had dug up and ran towards the ground, while Jason Carter naturally blocked the others for her. But with 4 people against him, Jason Carter couldn't hold them off. Emily was eventually grabbed by a female guest who had escaped.
She aimed and threw the item high, hoping to get it into the basket. However, none of them made it in. Her heart skipped a beat, and she exchanged a glance with the girl, then started running.
She ran faster than Emily. Seeing her about to succeed, Emily desperately grabbed her clothes, dragging her on the ground to hinder her movement. The girl was also desperate, dragging Emily along the ground.
Ah!
In the distance, she heard Jason Carter's voice. He called out to her.
Emily White!
The live comments quickly filled the screen.
Emily is really giving her all, huh? What to do? These two are clearly playing a game, but why do they look like they're separated by the Milky Way? Is it just me being silly? Don't feel bad, it could be them being silly too, huh? I told you these two are too dedicated. No wonder they're teammates. So in sync, young people today never give up easily.
Despite their best efforts, defeat was inevitable. The director decreed that plain food was their only option for the day.
It's hard to believe we lost after all that.
They sat by the muddy pit like frost-hit eggplants, perfectly synchronized in their misery.
Ha ha ha, serves you right for trying to sneak attack us.
Unwilling to give up, Emily pulled Jason to his feet.
Come on, let's go to the mountain and dig up some wild vegetables. I'll make something delicious for you.
Covered in mud, Jason didn't resist, obediently following Emily's lead.
We must not yield to evil forces.
The live chat erupted in laughter.
Are the teams divided based on their conditions?
Doctor, advanced stage of delusional disorder, no cure.
My mom asked why I was writhing on the bed, and I said I was dying of laughter.
My poor Emily. So hardworking yet still lost. Wait, let me laugh for a bit first.
Ha 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 ha. Upstairs. Your laughter is hurting my eyes.
According to the director, their meal today was just cold seaweed salad.
I'm allergic to seaweed. Can I have something else?
The crew's response was blunt.
Figure it out yourself.
Determined, Emily dragged Jason up the mountain after showering and changing clothes, hoping to find some wild vegetables. While Emily carefully identified plants, Jason suddenly appeared with small green fruits.
Look, these are edible!
Emily clasped her hands together and closed her eyes in prayer.
Amen. May Buddha bless you.
What's wrong?
These are definitely sour.
I don't believe you.
He wiped the small fruit with his sleeve and took a big bite.
I'll try! Ugh!
Before he could finish, his face contorted from the sourness, and he spat it out immediately.
So sour!
He grimaced, then curiously asked Emily.
How did you know?
These fruits are called sour berries. They're naturally sour. Kid, you need to read more books.
Really?
Yes.
He nodded, looking very obedient, while the live chat frantically urged Jason to watch the replay and not be fooled by Emily. Because Emily had just eaten one too, ha ha ha. Narrator, tone, cheerful after dinner. I was scrolling through my phone when I was shocked to see the Jiayun ship between Olivia Brooks and me, as well as the real or fake ship between Jason Carter and me.
Seriously, you guys can ship anything?
I didn't care about Olivia Brooks, but I quickly sent a flurry of messages to Jason Carter.
Did you see this?
See what?
On Weibo. There are fans shipping us.
Well, they have good taste.
What nonsense are you talking about? Didn't we break up?
When did we break up? I don't remember that.
Jason Carter was clearly playing dumb. No matter how many messages I sent, he remained in a good mood but pretended not to understand.
I was speechless and frustrated, closing my eyes to sleep.
In my dreams, I vaguely recalled the first time I met Jason Carter. Back then, he had just started university. Although he was rebellious, his hair was still black, and his eyes were bright and full of life, his face brimming with youthful collagen. He was just wearing casual clothes, a white lettered sweatshirt and plain jeans, sitting obediently in the Bridge Club classroom, attracting quite a bit of attention.
It was said that when he signed up, the previously quiet club tent suddenly saw a lot of girls coming by, some even boldly inquiring about him.
Unlike me, an older student whose appearance had been worn down by life, attracting no one's attention. During the new member training course, the club president had something to attend to, so I, as a committee member, was asked to lead the new students. After the teacher finished the lesson and left with his books, I started the game with them. I went from group to group, observing and giving feedback. Besides me, there were 3 other girls in Jason Carter's group. Jason Carter was smart. It only took him a couple of rounds to get the hang of it, and only the girl in his group could win against him. I got interested and switched one of the girls from the opposing group to play against Jason Carter.
Are you challenging me?
Jason Carter raised an eyebrow at me and lost the first 3 rounds.
Not wanting to discourage him, I decided to stop while I was ahead and let them continue.
He didn't say anything at the time, but later, he came to add me on social media.
Handsome guys, even if an older student like me didn't want to get involved, having someone like him in my friend circle was a status symbol, so I naturally accepted.
Later, I found out he wanted to play cards with me. He was very smart and quickly surpassed me, a fact I had to admit even if I was reluctant.
I like you.
That was the first time I saw him blush, his porcelain white face looking nervous and shy, making my heart race.
I regretted it a bit afterward, but I consoled myself. At least Jason Carter had the looks, the character, and the grades. All right, I admit it, I'm a sucker for good looks.
Maybe it was because it was nighttime, and my mind wasn't clear, but anyway, it was so impulsive, and we got together. Before we were together, I knew he was quite the adventurer, which I didn't mind. What I did mind was that after we got together, he wanted to take me along on his adventures.
Not just ordinary adventures, but mountain climbing and diving.
I clung to the door, not wanting to move, and he got upset.
I wouldn't dare take you on truly dangerous adventures.
At first, I didn't believe him. I just gave a fake smile, encouraging him to go, saying that if he passed away, he should leave his inheritance to me.
If you take my money, you have to stay single for the rest of your life and never find another man.
Of course, at that time, I didn't know he was that wealthy. After I refused, he complained but went less often, spending most of his time with me. Until my senior year, when a talent scout noticed me, and I became an actress. Besides being busy with my thesis and graduation, I spent long periods on set, and Jason Carter, holding a grudge, started adventuring again. During that time, I remember his fair skin getting a few shades darker, and his muscles becoming more defined, making me wonder every time we met.
Who swapped my adorable boyfriend?
The phone conversation ended with a frustrated beep. I forced a smile, addressing the shocked faces around me.
Sorry, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Please forgive me.
Internally, I was fuming. I knew that fool was unreliable. The phone rang, echoing through the room with a sense of urgency.
Angry, I knew you couldn't stay away from me. I win, right? Let me tell you, what's so good about that lousy job of yours? Working tirelessly every day, never seeing anyone. I treat you so well, always giving you.
Suddenly, the busy signal cut through Jason's rant.
Whispering, sorry, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Please forgive me.
I looked around at the shocked faces, trying to force a smile while internally gnashing my teeth.
Serious, thinking, I knew that fool was unreliable.
On the last day of the show recording, the crew didn't assign any tasks. Instead, they let everyone sit together for a farewell lunch. Jason Carter, a night owl, had just woken up. His hair was a mess, and he came downstairs in a plain t-shirt and shorts, looking completely unkempt. Then he saw me, dressed in a blue embroidered cheongsam, my hair pinned up, elegantly sipping tea downstairs.
Sitting up straighter. Jason, you're finally up?
Like greeting an old buddy, he slapped me on the shoulder.
Did you stay up until 3 last night? I heard you cursing while playing games. Staying up so late and getting so worked up, be careful you don't break out.
My anticipation for praise vanished instantly, replaced by guilt. Trying to maintain my composure, I couldn't help but widen my eyes in disbelief.
Me? Swearing? Ridiculous.
My hands trembled as I took a sip of tea to calm myself.
I heard you complaining that your teammate left you alone to get ambushed.
The teacup slammed onto the table with a bang. I couldn't suppress my anger.
Get out of my sight. You useless teammate.
During lunch, several guests complimented my outfit, especially one male guest who was particularly sweet-tongued. I responded modestly and shyly on the surface, but inside, I was overjoyed.
Your cheongsam is simply stunning. It suits you perfectly.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind.
However, before we finished eating, I felt my carefully styled hair coming undone. I turned around in shock to see Jason Carter casually using my silver hairpin to pick his teeth.
Jason Carter, are you out of your mind? No worries. I'll send you packing myself.
I grabbed a fly swatter and chased after him. The rest of the table, long accustomed to our antics, continued their conversation as if nothing had happened. After the show ended and we returned home, countless netizens were still concerned about our relationship. They were divided into two camps. One believed we would never break up, given how much dirt we had on each other. The other was pessimistic, convinced that our constant bickering would eventually lead to a breakup. This went on for a long time. Whenever there was news about domestic disputes, people would tag us.
Nudging Jason Carter. Let's put an end to these rumors.
I took a photo of our two little red marriage certificates and posted it on my account.
Married. On honeymoon, do not disturb.
The end.